Alright, listen up. Today's lecture is on life and death situations, more specifically, taking on a Bionicle one-on-one. So what we're doing is rating different Bionicles I found in my closet on how takeable they'd be if they were human size.
The definitive Bionicle combat rankings.
I thought we'd do this in the form of one of these neat fight gradient things. Now I know Nelson Mandela hasn't been cloned yet, but we all know it's just a matter of time now, so might as well jump on the trend now before all the other channels cover the
return of the Bionicles.
I'm going to be judging each of our potential combatants on the 5 universally agreed on attributes: strength, agility, constitution, equipment, and intimidation. First up is the one I like to call the Disgrace. He seems to be some sort of Happy Meal toy from like the year 2006 or something. Clearly a Chinese knockoff, and if I may be so bold to say that this is to Bionicles what the Star Wars original trilogy is to the prequels. An inbred sibling. DOT, absolutely no meme value. But on the other hand, the prequels, infinite memeability. I mean, when is the last time you saw a decent OT meme? That's right, never. So moving on, as for some background info, his parents indeed are Ronald McDonald and your local crackhead. His occupation as of right now is a laughingstock and a paperweight on my table. His only redeeming quality is his love for the Bionicles cinematic universe, and he has a burning distaste for salad. Now some of you are probably wondering, what is the Bionicles cinematic universe, and why haven't I heard about this? Therefore, I'd like to use a portion of the time I have with you today to present to you
Bionicle Quadrilogy.
Criminally underrated. Now I'd also like to point out that 3 of these movies were made by none other than the infallible Terry Shakespeare. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not Mr. Shakespeare is related to a certain William Shakespeare, but judging by the magnitude of effect their work has left on our culture, I'm going to assume that he is. Strength 2, I mean his limbs are puny. I mean just look at his legs, they're like twigs. Agility 1, he has like a total of 4 joints in his entire body. Constitution 2, a Happy Meal toy. Equipment, I mean, he has 2 pieces of weaponry, both are focused on pinching. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And intimidation, I mean, he's locked with that weird smile on his face. That's the only facial expression he has. So 1. Bootleg Dude's power level is as weak as the nutritional value of the Happy Meal I had to eat to get it. All in all, I would kick its ass. So moving on, Edward Scissorhands. Now there's no way I'm going to go through all the information for each and every one of these Bionicles I've chosen, so we're just going to leave them on the screen and I'm just going to talk about them. So this one is clearly far more formidable than our previous friend, Mr. Bootleg. I would say that, well, Microsoft's snipping tool has nothing on this dude, and he clearly has enough cutting power to impress a depressed 14-year-old Billie Eilish fangirl. And if that wasn't overpowered enough, he has the power of momentum on his side. Strength 2, his limbs look a bit flimsy. Agility 4, I mean, his torso can rotate, unlike anybody else on this list, so that alone puts you at a 4. Constitution 3, he's definitely of sturdier make than the previous one, but still not the best. Equipment 3, so all his equipment is focused on scissoring action, which unless you're a lesbian, that's not really that exciting. Intimidation 3, I mean, he is a weird mix between a guillotine and a stag beetle, so that's pretty intimidating, I guess. So all in all, probably would kick my ass. Next up is Master Chief's distant cousin from Georgia. Now he has super dangerous weaponry. I'm not gonna mess with juiced up dentist's tools and a fire sword. No jokes from me on this one. Strength 3, pretty muscular arms. By the looks of things, you know, could definitely hurt me if with a punch. Agility 3, he doesn't have the same rotation action as our friend Edward Scissorhands, but you know, still looks pretty agile, and all that armor would weigh him down a bit. Constitution 5, the only entry on this list with any resemblance of actual armor, instant top tier on this front. Equipment 4, I mean, just look at him. Intimidation 3, you know, the flame sword is enough to put you at a 3 in this, I'd say. All in all, would definitely kick my ass. Next up, Chain Man, or as I like to call him, Christian Grey's Fursona. From the looks of things, he's into some pretty intense BDSM. I mean, what are you supposed to be, a fucking dominatrix? Oh, let me just whoosh, whip you up and scoop you up with my fucking fork. Strength 5, look at those muscular arms, look at them. I have no doubts that he'd be able to lift me up, carry me to bed, and tuck me in for a good night's sleep. Agility 2, stiff limbs, and just look at his body structure. He looks more like a gorilla than a person. Constitution 4, those burly arms and legs and solid torso must account for something. Equipment 1, I mean, a whip, a chain, and an oversized fork. Come on, you can do better than that. Intimidation, I put 3 only because it has a slightly scary mask. All in all, I would kick its ass. No whip-obsessed BDSM fanatic has anything on me, clearly. Next up, a spider. Yeah, a spider? I mean, I swallow at least 3 spiders a year in my sleep. I mean, who's scared of spiders? Not me. Are you? No? That's what I thought. Yeah, no one. Yeah. So all in all, I'd just like to say that would definitely kick my ass. And last but not least, the 7-limbed sleep paralysis demon. As for first thoughts, isn't this the dude who Obi-Wan killed in Revenge of the Sith?
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
I mean, he does look like the love child of General Grievous and all 4 Ninja Turtles at once. The rat might have been involved too. Actually, scratch that. On further inspection, I'd say that a loving relationship had nothing to do with the conception of this thing. He's got ranged weaponry, devastating melee equipment, he's got everything. He's even got a gun for a tail. I've changed my mind. Forget the spider. You see this guy headed for you, just run. Better yet, move to a different continent, or actually just pray. There's no running from this, my man. Strength 2, I mean, his limbs don't look too muscular to me, they're pretty thin. Agility 5, I don't have much basis for this, but just look at him. He looks like a thing with 5 out of 5 agility. Constitution 2, his torso is as thin as a chopstick, I can't give him much points for Constitution. Equipment 5 out of 5, I mean, he's got everything under the sun. And Intimidation 5, you if you've seen Revenge of the Sith, you should understand. All in all, would kick my ass. So there you have it, the definitive Bionicle danger ranking scale in a real life fight with a human-sized Bionicle. Class dismissed.